It has been revealed that the Ondo State Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa has inaugurated a committee to oversee the transition period of regulatory oversight transfer from the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission (NEC) to the Ondo State government. Details in this report.
The implementation stage of efforts to restore electricity supply to the Southern Senatorial District of Ondo State has begun, as the federal government has commissioned a power substation at Ode Erinje in Okiti-Gbugba local government area of the state. It has been revealed that the Ondo State Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa has inaugurated a committee to oversee the transition period of regulatory oversight transfer from the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission (NERC) to the Ondo State government. Meanwhile, the process of moving electricity exclusively to concurrent list, thereby giving the state the power to generate electricity, has been enumerated by a proficient analyst, Mr. Sam Olorunfemi.
I think it is a welcome development, a right step in the right direction. Don't forget that from onset, electricity has been under the exclusive list, and you understand that all items under exclusive list are solely controlled by the federal government, and people started talking about that it is time for federal government to shed some of their weight, you understand, so that to subnationals. And people started talking about restructuring, that we need to restructure in such a way that we have more powers to the state governors, such a way that they will be able to contribute their quota to the development of the country. Before the electricity was moved from exclusive to concurrent list, federal government happens to be the one generating power in this country. And let me give you a typical example. The typical example is that if you generate power in your state, you put it on the national grid, then the federal government will not transmit that particular light to whichever location they like. And that's what we saw under President Obasanjo when the Motor Power Plant was commissioned. People were talking about if at that time that electricity has been moved under concurrent list, Ondo State will have been a joint 24-hour power supply. So that has been the problem of power generation in Nigeria, because we understand that the capacity of federal government to continue transmitting, generating, and have sole control of power now has been overwhelmed by population, expansion, development, and so on and so forth.
However, due to the continued complaints of the people of Ondo State on the incessant hike in electricity tariff, he had this to say.
It will not depend on how you generate your power in your state. Don't forget that, for example, if you are a state governor and your own source of power happens to be through gas, if I'm a state governor and my own source of power happens to be coal, so it depends on the availability of what we are using to generate our power that will determine whether that will be hike or not. So it depends on what each state now will use to generate their power that will determine whether that will be hike or not. But I think the best way to do now is to start metering your people. And I think Ondo State is taking right step in the right direction. So what do I mean? Like, so a lot of people are still crying about estimated bills in such a way that you don't have anything that controls how you use your light. So at the end of the month, you see these people now coming with a kind of high rate of bills that you cannot measure the percentage of light you use. So if states want to start generating their light now, I think there must be what we call a mass metering, in such a way that when you have your own prepaid meter, then you'll be able to generate or consume the kind of light you use. So I don't see much in this causing hike in electricity, because this is a waste that it won't lead to hike. Because if you're generating power and some people are not using prepaid meter, it shows that there will be a kind of hike in payment, because you have a control or parameter of what you use as far as light is concerned.
Mr. Olorunfemi also had an advice for the state government and the National Assembly regarding the development.
I think don't forget what Section 4 of the Constitution says, that anything that want to happen in the state or the federal level have to pass through legislation, because you know that at least we have to pass through the National Assembly. Then I think the State House of Assembly must come with a very strong law, you understand now, that will enhance the policy, and the people will not be at the receiving end. What do I mean? A policy in such a way that there will be a kind of good regulatory at that particular institution, in such a way that those consumers will be consuming the light, they won't be at the receiving end, that government will not shoulder a lot of burdens on the customers who are making use of that particular light. Then again, we need a strong law in such a way that when we have this particular electricity in place, there will be a strong regulation between the government and the citizens of the state in such a way that anybody violated but that particular law, there will be a consequence to that particular thing. Then again, I want State House of Assembly, before they will allow this thing to be in place, they must compel the state government.
Afolashayo Amzat reporting for KAFTAN TV News.